What's going on, friends? Logan Myerz here for Cinephellas.com, doing more 31 Days of Horror tonight. I'm actually going to be reviewing a TV show that just premiered on Netflix on Friday. I'm talking about The Haunting of Hill House, but it's based off a novel, and this 10-episode series on Netflix, directed by one of the new great horror directors, Mike Flanagan. He is no stranger to this genre. He's had a lot of great films. Ouija Origins, we have Hush, we have Gerald's Game that came out on Netflix, and he's going to be doing the new Shining sequel, Dr. Sleep, that's being filmed right now. So he definitely knows his genre, and he directed this new series. So The Haunting of Hill House really focuses on this family, the Crane family. We have Olivia, played by Carla Gugino, and we have Hugh, played by Henry Thomas, old Elliot from E.T., and both of these actresses have been in Mike Flanagan films already. And that's what's great about this cast and this TV show. A lot of these actors have worked with Mike Flanagan in other films like Hush, Ouija, Gerald's Game. And what's really great about these actors actually look alike, that's believable, they're family. So the Crane family, they have 5 young kids. They move into the Hill House. They're basically going to flip it, sell it, make a lot of money, and live a happy life. But that's not really the case here. You know, we have, early on in the show, we have a lot of flashbacks. You know, it's showing the kids in their, adulthood, in their 30s, and then flashing back to their children, to certain instances that happen at this house, this demonic, haunted house. We have Michael Huisman. He plays the oldest brother, Steven. When he's a young kid, he's always watching over his young siblings, making sure, they don't get hurt or get into trouble. And he's more the skeptic of the family. He's the oldest, and then we see him as an older adult. He's an author. And basically he sells out. He's a struggling writer, and he puts out this book about Hill House and telling the story of all his siblings and his parents and everything they went through. And again, he doesn't believe any of it. He just wrote this book. It does really, really well. He ends up making a lot of money. And the family doesn't really appreciate what he did, bringing out these old skeletons of the family's history and when they were young kids, and how he's making money off of this. So they're really pissed off at their older brother, Steven. And that's his character in the show. He's kind of struggling, trying to be a good brother and still trying to do the right thing. Elizabeth Reeser is also in this TV show. She plays Shirley, one of the siblings, one of the sisters. She was in the mom in Twilight. Again, she was in a few of Mike Flanagan films. She's more of the powerful female figure of this family. She's the one that everybody goes to when they're having a problem. She really keeps the family in line. And in the show, she's married. And she's had some dark secrets of her past that we find out throughout the show. We have Kate Siegel. She was the main actress in Hush, Mike Flanagan's Hush, another great horror flick on Netflix. But she was a middle child, Theodora, and she's also been through hell and back, as a young child, and then being an older adult. She's a doctor now, and she has this weird thing with her hands that we find out in the show what that's all about. But she was really great in the show too. And then the 2 youngest kids are Luke and Nellie. And they're the ones that are really traumatized or really affected by this house more than anybody else. And as we see with the twins, these kids, as adults, Luke kind of goes down a really dark path of becoming an addict, a drug addict. And Nell is, always trying to help out her brother. It's a twin thing, they call it. When something's going wrong, the other twin can feel, what they're going through, the pain. So these are, the youngest characters. More or less, they're really the focal points in a lot of the story, is seeing these young kids and what happens to Nell as an adult, and seeing what Luke is going through, the constant battle with drug addiction. And that's pretty much the setup of the show. The Crane family and their kids going to restore this house, and all the evil and demonic entities they're coming across living in this house, and just how the house is affecting them, their mental state, and affecting their relationships with one another that really carries on into their adulthood. What I'll say with the show, Mike Flanagan has the keen eye for camera work and building this atmosphere, this scary atmosphere. If you've seen any of his films, he is a great director. He really knows how to make a great shot. And this is a beautiful and dark house, and it's massive, and there's so many rooms in this house and so many things that could go wrong, but a lot of really great shots when the kids are asleep at night and coming across these ghosts. But there's one tragic event. I'm not going to say exactly what happens, but that somebody's going to die eventually in the show, so I won't say who. But throughout the show, you see these scenes, but from a different point of view of exactly what happened in this house. Each entry in this first season is based on a character and their point of view of the whole story, and seeing them as an adult. But there's one major aspect in the show, the Red Room, that they always kind of go back to throughout the first season is it's the stomach, it's the heart of the house. It's basically where these characters go for comfort, but it's really the stomach of the house. It's going to digest these characters in different ways and making sure, that they think they're safe, but it's going to keep bringing them back to the house. And even as kids, it was their place when they're coming across all these traumatic events, of coming across ghosts and all these weird occurrences. The Red Room really draws these characters in certain ways. One of the kids, it's like a reading room, one's like a workout room, and making sure that no matter what happens in their life, they'll always come back and the house will always have the power over the Crane family. And one actor I was surprised to see was Timothy Hutton. He played the older version of Hugh Crane. The young version was played by Henry Thomas, but the older Timothy Hutton, great to see him again. He was a huge 90s actor, I love him. I just did the review of The Dark Half, 1993 Stephen King flick. So it's good to see that he's still acting, and he did a really convincing performance in the show, being the dad and coming to terms of the loss of one of his kids and coming back to bring the family back together because they need each other in times of mourning and the death. And his storyline is really compelling, of him being married to Olivia and what he came across that night. They left the Hill House and left her there, and his side of the story and why he did the things he did. He was madly in love with his wife Olivia, played by Carla Gugino, had a beautiful family, loves his kids more than life, but he's a torn and tattered man because he saw everything that happened at this house back in the day. The Haunting of Hill House was fantastic. The first 9 episodes had so much momentum. The downfall, the one negative thing I have to say was the finale. Episode 10, it just kind of went in a different direction in terms of tone, and it just kind of threw me off because it was going in this one direction, and then it kind of went an NBC route with music and so much emotion and tears and things like that. I was waiting for the credits for This Is Us because that's how it felt. It turned into like an NBC drama. Still had a great time with The Haunting of Hill House, now streaming on Netflix. It's only 10 episodes. Definitely binge worthy. Knocked it out in a few days here. Just a show I couldn't stop watching. I was thinking about, late at night when I'm getting ready for bed, it got in my head, and that's a good thing. When it comes to horror, you want, in terms of writing and directing, you want, a TV series or film to get into the audience's head and make them think. And that's what it actually did. And I'm still thinking about it. I'm still trying to comprehend everything that was thrown at me in this 10-episode series. But again, Mike Flanagan is one of the best horror directors out working today. Lots of great work. This is yet another great entry. Great cast, excellent story, beautiful atmosphere, scary atmosphere. Great, beautiful set design with this house. And Mike Flanagan's a great guy when it comes to directing and camera work, because there's a lot of great camera work on this show. And it really builds the spooky and scary atmosphere that the story tells. I absolutely had a blast with The Haunting of Hill House. If you guys have not seen it, definitely check it out on Netflix right now. It's worth your time. You're going to start it and get hooked on it and probably end up binging all 10 episodes. So overall, I'm going to give The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix, directed by Mike Flanagan, a 4 out of 5 ghost hair pieces. So what did you guys think of The Haunting of Hill House? What was your favorite part of the show? What was the spookiest part, or your favorite ghost in this show? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. This is Logan Myerz signing out from the Hill House. Hopefully old spooky ghosts won't find me. Until the next review in 31 Days of Horror. Cheers!